In the next 10 seconds, your throat can start burning, your lungs can start pulling poison instead of air, and your brain may already be losing the oxygen it needs to think clearly. This is the dark science of a burning building before the flames ever touch you. The fire can already be shutting your body down from the inside. The first mistake is thinking fire kills only when it touches skin. In real building fires, the air itself becomes the weapon. Your lungs are not waiting for flames. They are already being invaded. These minute markers are not a universal survival clock. Every fire changes with fuel, airflow, room size, and ventilation. But inside a fast-growing, smoke-filled room, this is the biological sequence your body can face. Minute 1. The chemical invasion. You inhale. Your nose expects air, but what enters is a heated mixture of soot, gases, and microscopic particles created by burning wood, plastic, foam, fabric, paint, wiring, furniture, insulation, and everything else inside a modern room. Fire is not just orange light. Fire is chemistry, breaking a building apart molecule by molecule. And the first battlefield is your throat. The hot smoke dries and irritates the moist lining of your mouth, nose, and airway. Your body reacts instantly. Coughing begins because your airway is trying to throw the smoke back out. Your eyes sting. Tears form. Your nose runs. Your chest tightens. This is not weakness. This is your respiratory system screaming that the air has become hostile. But here is the first cruel problem. Coughing does not remove the invisible gases. It only tells you the air is bad. Now look closer at the smoke. It is not just grey fog. Soot can behave like sticky, toxic, tar-like dust. Tiny particles and chemical residues cling to moist tissue. Your throat and airways are not smooth pipes anymore. They are becoming irritated, swollen, and coated by the leftovers of a room turning into poison. Modern furniture makes this darker. Plastic foams, synthetic fabrics, adhesives, and coatings can burn intensely and produce dense smoke. A sofa is no longer a sofa. It becomes fuel, heat, soot, and toxic gases. The black cloud above you is the building entering your body. Around the first minute, the room begins to divide into two worlds. Above you, a thick smoke layer grows hotter and darker. Below you, the air may look slightly clearer, but it is not clean. Now ask yourself this: if you cannot see clearly, cannot breathe normally, and your brain is already losing oxygen, how good are your decisions going to be? Your lungs are built for oxygen, not poison. Inside each lung, tiny air sacs called alveoli move oxygen into blood. In a burning building, this elegant system becomes a trap. Then the fire changes weapons. Minute 3. The blood deception. Carbon monoxide enters the story. This gas is especially dangerous because it does not announce itself with a dramatic smell or burning sensation. It is produced when materials burn without complete combustion. Carbon monoxide attaches to hemoglobin, the oxygen-carrying protein inside red blood cells, far more strongly than oxygen does. That means your blood can be full of red blood cells and still fail at its job. This is the mid-script twist. You can be breathing fast, your heart can be pounding, your blood can still be moving, and yet your tissues can be starving. Your body is not only being burned from the outside, it is being chemically convinced that oxygen delivery is happening when it is not. Subscribe to the Dark Truth channel because this is the part no one tells you. At first, carbon monoxide may not feel like a horror scene. It can feel like confusion, headache, dizziness, weakness, nausea, chest tightness. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention describes carbon monoxide symptoms as often flu-like, which is exactly what makes them so dangerous. But in a fire, the feeling can become even more sinister. You may feel drunk, heavy, sleepy, or strangely slow. Not because you are calm, but because your brain is being starved of usable oxygen. The silent predator attacks your ability to understand that you are in danger, and fear makes this worse. Your heart rate rises, stress hormones surge, your breathing becomes faster and shallower. The harder you breathe, the more smoke you may pull in. The harder your heart works, the more oxygen it needs. Your emergency response starts increasing the demand for the very thing the fire is stealing. This is where the building becomes psychological. You may not see flames. You may only see darkness. A hallway you walked through 1,000 times can turn into a black tunnel. The brain wants landmarks, but smoke erases them, and carbon monoxide takes away the sharpness you need. Your brain's alarm system pushes you toward urgent action, But carbon monoxide and low oxygen can make thinking slower, clumsier, and less logical. That delay matters, because fire does not pause while your brain catches up. Pause for one specific question. If you were watching this as an animation, which would scare you more? The visible flame at the doorway, or the invisible gases already inside your blood? Comment flame or gas, because the answer says a lot about how people misunderstand fire. Minute 5. The cellular shutdown. Modern building smoke can contain more than carbon monoxide. Burning nitrogen-containing materials, including some synthetic foams, fabrics, and plastics, can release hydrogen cyanide. Exact gas levels vary by fire, so a fixed number would be misleading. But the medical danger is real. Cyanide can interfere with the body's ability to use oxygen at the cellular level. Think of oxygen like a delivery package. Carbon monoxide steals the delivery trucks. Cyanide locks the door to the factory. Even if oxygen reaches the cell's power system may not be able to use it properly. Cyanide can block a key step in mitochondrial energy production. Mitochondria are the tiny power systems inside cells. When they cannot use oxygen normally, cells begin to fail even while air is still moving in and out of the lungs. That is the terrifying part. Suffocating while breathing. So here is the question that should bother you. What good is oxygen if your blood cannot carry it properly and your cells cannot use it properly? This is why smoke inhalation is not one injury. It is layered damage. The airway is irritated, the lungs are inflamed, the blood is deceived, the cells are starved, the brain is confused, the heart is forced to work harder, and the room is still getting worse. The brain needs constant oxygen. It has almost no backup storage. When oxygen delivery drops, confusion can arrive before collapse. You might misjudge distance or repeat the same action. This is not stupidity, it is biochemistry. Minute by minute, the enemy changes shape. First, it is irritation, then oxygen theft, then cellular suffocation, then heat stress, then disorientation, then collapse risk. And here is the part nobody expects. The body may not give one clean warning before failure. There may be coughing, panic, headache, dizziness, weakness, and confusion. Or the person may become impaired so quickly that they cannot understand how impaired they are. That is why the title is brutal but true. Your lungs can fail before the flames touch you. And then comes the quietest danger. Incapacitation. Not dramatic movie collapse, not a long speech, just the body becoming unable to continue the fight. The legs weaken, the hands lose coordination, the brain cannot plan, the lungs cannot keep up, the heart is under strain. At that point, survival is no longer about willpower. In reality, smoke is the danger. It carries heat that can damage airways. It carries particles that can inflame the lungs. It carries gases that can poison blood and cells. It hides exits. It changes decision-making. It turns a familiar building into a maze while quietly changing the chemistry inside your body. Now return to the first breath. That was the moment the countdown began. Not when flames reached your skin, not when the room turned orange, not when glass broke. The countdown began when your lungs became the entry point for the fire. Your body tried to defend itself with coughing, tears, faster breathing, stress hormones, and a racing heart. But the fire attacked through multiple systems at the same time. It irritated the airway, blocked oxygen transport, distorted vision, slowed thinking, and made panic feel logical. That is the dark science of a burning building. The most dangerous thing may not be the part you can see. It may be the breath you just took. And the next time someone imagines fire as only flames, remember the truth inside the body. Lungs fail quietly, blood can be fooled, cells can suffocate while air is still moving, and smoke can win before fire ever touches skin.